Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Welcome to today's huge show. Please stay right throughout the video with me today because we will be asking some serious questions about the Batgirl release date. It's been reported that you'll be able to see Batgirl in cinemas in the UK in 2023. Still no release date for the US and HBO Max, if it's still being released via that platform in the US. And stay with us at the end of the video as well, because we'll be asking, will Elvis Presley's Austin Butler be joining the DCEU? But first, I'm very proud and excited to tell you the news that I have seen a test screening for Black Adam. So let's get into this. This film really surprised me. The world building for the Shazam universe in this Black Adam movie is integral. It's brilliant. I love great world building. Now, when I talk about Shazam universe and world building for Shazam, I'm not talking about Billy Batson. I'm talking about the world building of the universe that enables Billy Batson to be Shazam. And I think you see the moving parts here so really well. How it happens, no spoilers of course, but just brilliantly world built throughout. So, The Rock and his people have done a really good job. The directing is top notch. The CGI is on another level. I'm not going to start insulting anyone or any other film by saying best CGI ever. I've studied, CGI VFX, but I'm not an expert. But from my naked eye, it looked tremendous. So let's look at The Rock as Black Adam. He was a concern of mine in the opening trailer, but I can tell you, he's absolutely powerful, dominant, great screen presence. This is The Rock's greatest performance, and this was always going to be his most important, pivotal movie. He's been working on this movie for years, and he's absolutely fantastic. Of course, he's integral to the story. What The Rock's attempted to do here, as we pretty much already knew, this was going to have some social commentary about slavery, because Black Adam was once a slave. Then they released the slave and gave him the power of Shazam to beat a threat. And basically, they were using him. So this guy's been used and abused, and he's bitter and angry. He's done some very bad things. As teased in the trailer, he is a killer. There's no getting away with that. And that's what he is in the comics. Whatever he is in the comics, he is in this film. But the kind of villainous kind of Black Adam, in a way, is past tense in this movie. And as discussed before through, The Rock himself, he is an anti-hero in this movie, but that doesn't mean he's not opposed to killing. He still wants to kill. He's still happy to kill. He uses it kind of as a last resort. If you're in his way, if you're causing a problem, if you are a threat, then you won't be a threat anymore. So The Rock is huge for this movie. If you're a fan of The Rock, firstly, you're going to love this movie. And you're going to love this adaptation of Black Adam if you're a Black Adam fan. The action is immense, hard-hitting, and I really enjoyed that. As you can tell, this was pretty much a ready-to-go movie. I've been to test screenings where you're sitting there for about 30 seconds when it goes to black after each scene. But this was a ready-to-go movie. The music was there as well. The music is sensational. This is brilliant. This is leaps and bounds better than the MCU Phase 4. I think this movie is going to kill it. I have to revise my box office projections now because they were quite low after the first trailer. That's my fault for judging the film on the trailer. And I was on a low at the time over the DCEU with what's going on with Ezra Miller behind the scenes, because Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and the Flash movie being delayed really broke my heart, as I've repeatedly told you. And it brought me kind of a lot of negativity to my heart. And I think that's understandable with the things that I know. I know things that, you guys and girls, or however you identify as, don't know. It's as simple as that. There's some things I can't tell you in this moment in time, and that's why I've been so bitter and negative. But in terms of this film, it's so good. So a few years ago, we had the Justice Society of America in a Smallville movie event. By the way, I hope you enjoyed Talkville with Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling. It was great. So a few years ago, we had Jeff Johns write a Smallville movie called Absolute Justice. It was absolutely fantastic, and we were introduced to the JSA, the Justice Society of America, and because I was so in love with the Dr. Fate in that episode of Smallville, I just was a bit worried about Dr. Fate in the Black Adam movie. I needn't have worried, and how could I have doubted Pierce Brosnan? Pierce Brosnan, I think, is in maybe his late 60s, maybe early 70s, I don't know. You can't tell. Pierce Brosnan is everything this character should be, both his human side and his Dr. Fate side. We do take a deep dive into the psyche of this character. He really tries his best to use the power that he has through the helmet of Naboo for good. And as much as he tries to advise the Rock about the future, because there's a certain future that he sees in this film that is very relevant to what happens to the Rock at the end of the film, which will lead to other things, fingers crossed, in the DCEU if Zaslav doesn't cancel everything, right? At the end of the day, if Black Adam and Shazam Fury of the Gods make lots of money, then the Shazam universe will be running the DCEU. It's as simple as that. And a lot of you will be commenting and asking me about Henry Cavill's Superman. That's a question I'm simply not allowed to answer, and I wouldn't answer it anyway. You know, that's the hugest spoiler of all. You will find out everything you need to know when you see the movie. I go and see these test screenings for you guys, right? I'd rather not see them. That may sound really weird. Why wouldn't you want to see it before everyone else? Because that means I can't say the most exciting things that I saw in this film, because I really do adore this film. This film has reinvigorated that flame in my heart for DC live action again. It was so good. This is everything a comic book movie should be. Action-packed, dramatic, emotional, yes, and funny. It's a damn funny movie, but unlike the MCU, they don't use tragic moments. They don't bring comedy to deflect from tragic moments in this movie. So Aldis Hodge plays Hawkman in this movie. Wow. Wow. Fucking wow. If you like this character from comics to screen, you are going to love Aldis Hodge as this character. I'm not going to go through every single actor and character. I'm just going to basically really focus on Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate, as I already have, and Aldis Hodge's Hawkman, because they are two very integral characters in this movie. Now, if you know the comics, Hawkman and Dr. Fate have a very close relationship, and during the dark days, they were there for each other, because Dr. Fate lost his mind, because wearing the helmet of Naboo is a mindfuck, because you're seeing all these future events and you don't know what to do with them. Do you tell people? Do you not tell people? And I think they touched on that a lot in Smallville, wonderfully well in Smallville. And in terms of Pierce Brosnan's performance and the writing for the Dr. Fate character, I really like that. But I also like the friendship between Dr. Fate and Hawkman. And yeah, Hawkman's amazing in this movie. I just love how he goes toe-to-toe with Black Adam. And there's some really funny moments between these two characters as well. So yeah, I really did enjoy those elements. So all the cast are absolutely fantastic in this movie. And yes, let's talk about the villain. I'm not going to name the villain. The villain of this movie, the threat of this movie, is huge. It's brilliant. You do get some fuck off great third act situations. I can't see people complaining about the third act of this movie. So in closing about the movie that I saw, I was very, very happy with it. I hope that you will be happy with it. My highlights were Black Adam, Hawkman, Dr. Fate. Those three characters, as you would imagine, very important to get right, and they have got them right. As I said, it looks wonderful, it's action-packed, it's funny. The film will also make you cry. So for me, a very satisfying DC movie. As I said yesterday, DC live action, apart from what's going on behind the scenes, is on a bit of a roll. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, The Batman, and now this. So that's a win. Now, I haven't seen Shazam! Fury of the Gods, but I pretty much know all the leaks and spoilers, and I'm pretty impressed with what I'm hearing from that film as well. So it's very, very exciting for this year. For the rest of this year in DC live action, it's good. The problems will come with the Flash movie and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And we will get to that, because I've also seen a test screening of the Flash movie. It's both good and not good. There's some very good things about the Flash movie, but yes, we will get there next year. But what I would say to you, if you're waiting to hear who's going to run DC Studios and these big DCEU announcements for the future of the franchise, and when Toby Emmerich officially steps down as chairman of WB Pictures, I think in the fall, or as we call it in Europe, the autumn, in around September, when he officially steps down, then you're going to hear some huge, huge announcements. You're going to know some of the exciting stuff that I do as well. And hopefully I can leak that stuff to you just before I get the heads up. It's going to happen. So very, very exciting. And I can't even get my words out properly, because I haven't been this excited for the future of DC for a very, very long time. And whether you're a Snyderverse fan or you're not a Snyderverse fan, put that to one side. And please go to the cinema and enjoy Black Adam. It has everything that a geek, a nerd, a comic book movie fan will want. This is the real deal, and I just want to congratulate Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He gave us a great movie. Very shortly, we will be talking about Batgirl, the potential release dates next year. That pretty much is a delay from what we were originally going to get. We'll talk about it in a minute, and we will be talking about Austin Butler as Green Arrow in the DCEU as well. But I just want to stick with Black Adam and that test screening for now. If you are a fan of the JSA, as I've already said, they are brilliantly represented in this film. And I'm crossing my fingers this film is as successful as I think and hope it will be, because they do have some great setup in this movie. And their potential for spin-offs on HBO Max and cinematically is expansive, is limitless. The potential is limitless for the future of the JSA in the DCEU. So I really hope that happens. Now, something I have heard that I can talk to you about a little bit is that David Zaslav doesn't think DC live action movies' future is on HBO Max. It's cinematically. So if Black Adam does well, get ready for the JSA to have movies of their own. How exciting is that? So fingers crossed. Black Adam was great. I can't wait for all of you to see it in October. So there is an article and some quotes from the composer of Batgirl. But first, yesterday we learnt from theatre companies, cinema companies in the UK, that Batgirl will be released in cinemas nationwide in the UK next year, in 2023. No release date though. So this is basically an unofficial delay, because Batgirl wasn't officially ever given a release date. Now, Michael Uslan did say on his Instagram to a fan that it was going to be released, this was months ago, it was going to be released in around December time, which never happened. And then the Flash movie was delayed. The Flash movie and Batgirl were heavily linked and connected, because Keaton's in both movies. Keaton's introduced in the Flash movie really, really well, by the way. He's one of the better elements of the Flash movie. But because that film's been delayed and it's got problems, Batgirl can't come out before the Flash movie. That's just not viable. So I'm predicting to you that Batgirl will be released globally in cinemas, not on HBO Max in America, but globally in cinemas, as I've just said. David Zaslav doesn't want DC movies on HBO Max. He wants them cinematically. And if they've greenlit something that he doesn't think can make money cinematically, it's out the door. That's why Wonder Twins isn't happening. He doesn't want DC movies on streaming. It's as simple as that. And I absolutely agree with this, because Toby Emmerich should never have greenlit Batgirl for HBO Max. It should have been a global theatrical run, which I predict is exactly what's going to happen. So look out for Batgirl globally next year, fingers crossed, around December time. I'm really excited. Now there's a comicbook.com article where they interview the composer of Batgirl. Very exciting. The future of DC Comics inspired movies is headed into some awesome new territory, introducing an array of characters and corners of canon to mainstream audiences. Among these is Batgirl, a live-action film that will follow the journey of Barbara Gordon, Batgirl Leslie Grace. While there are still a lot of questions regarding Batgirl's modern movie debut, including when and where the film will ultimately be released, we've already just covered that. You see, I'm better than journalists, aren't I? There's a lot of hype surrounding the project and its ensemble cast and crew. This includes composer Natalie Holt, who recently told comicbook.com in an exclusive interview how she ended up joining the super exciting film. Well, basically, she knows her notes and tunes, and she's a woman. It's a female lead. So in Hollywood, in same language, that means we have to have a female composer. How we've got two male directors in this film is sensational. Two brilliant male directors, by the way, and there's nothing wrong with female directors, right? That's not the point. But you don't just add females just because it's a female-led project. That's dumb. Anyway, I mean, it's cool. Holt explained while talking to comicbook.com about her work on Disney Plus's Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. I didn't mind her music on Obi-Wan Kenobi, one of the better things, if I'm honest. Not brilliant, not great, but... So 1989 Batman is one of my favourites, and the fact that Michael Keaton is in it is just super exciting. I just spoke to Adil El Arbi and Bial Farlah, the directors, and they have just massive masses of energy and enthusiasm, and they really like Loki. They contacted me after Loki aired and just said, "We've got this project, we'd love you to read," and it just led on from there. But yeah, it's been fun. Batgirl will follow the journey of Barbara Gordon, a young woman who becomes Gotham's newest protector. The film will be directed by El Arbi and Farlah and written by Christina Hodson. Yeah, that does worry me. Whose work includes Birds of Prey, which should worry you too, and The Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. And if you're not fucking worried yet, you should be. And the upcoming The Flash movie. Yes, the writing in that film is something we're going to have to discuss when I finally review The Flash movie, if it ever comes out. The film is expected to see J.K. Simmons reprising his role as Commissioner James Gordon, Michael Keaton reprising his role as Bruce Wayne Batman, Ivory Aquino as Elisa Yeo, and Jacob Scipio, Rebecca Front, Corey Johnson, and Ethan Kay casting currently unknown roles. This is only my second role, but I'm learning from my colleagues and the other friends of mine that you put a little bit of yourself into each character, Grace explained in an interview last year. Wow, this is her second role. I mean, I was listening to Talkville yesterday, and, you know, Smallville was Tom Welling's, one of his first roles. He was very, very raw in the pilot, and we saw that. But that added to the quality of Young Clark, because Young Clark is very, very raw. So you didn't want it too actory. So that worked for that piece. Hopefully this works for Batgirl. And just in the bit of research that I've been doing leading into pre-production, I've learned a lot of things about Barbara that are very in line with me. She's someone who's been underestimated by even her own dad. Oh dear, here we go. Here comes the extreme left rhetoric. Her dad, the man, has underestimated the girl. And being the youngest kid, sometimes you've insulated from all of the tough stuff of life. And she's so eager to prove to herself and to everybody else that there's some things that she can handle. Grace continued. So this journey is definitely going to show me a lot of that. I feel like I'm on an endless journey of proving to myself that barriers I can break, what limits I can break for myself, and I'm excited to put a little bit of that eagerness and drive and almost a bit of stubbornness into Barbara's character. So that's that. Now, there's still no guarantees about Batgirl. I don't know what kind of film it's going to be. I like the directors. I don't have much confidence in the writer. And I've seen her other works with DC, and I have to be honest with you, I'm concerned that she's written the movie, but maybe she's, with these directors, they'll be watching over her a bit more. Fingers crossed, because you just don't know with the DCEU. I hope it's released. I hope we can see. I hope I'm wrong about it, like I was wrong about Black Adam. Now this, my friends, is fucking awesome. Have you seen Austin Butler in this artwork as Green Arrow? Also, have you seen his fantastic performance as Elvis Presley? I would absolutely love Austin to join the DCEU, and why not as Green Arrow? Let me hold it there for you just a little while, because I think this is great artwork. So well done to Clements Inc. I think that's who did it anyway. That's the Instagram account it came from. If it's not you, I'm sorry. I would have loved to have given you credit, but let's just say it's Clements Inc. So Austin looks brilliant as Green Arrow there. I do believe, and I am hearing noises, that Austin Butler's future will have a DCEU destiny, and quite right too. He's now a Warner Brothers man. He's joining the Denis Villeneuve's Dune sequel as well, which is really exciting. And yes, we need a live action Oliver Queen Green Arrow in the DCEU. Now, maybe he could be cameoing first in the Black Canary movie. But, like everything else, we don't know if that's still happening. It's a bit of a mystery right now, and we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, bring it on, baby. Bring on Austin Butler as Green Arrow. Doesn't mean it's definitely happening. It's just something I would love to happen. This has been Movies TV Mad with me, Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. And I'll see you on tomorrow's show. Until we see each other again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.